Listen, it's okay. I can handle this pain. I'm a big girl. I've got this. I'm wrong. I'll fess up. I'll apologize. I'll make amends. The world will not end. Welcome to Rowdy and Real with me, Sophie Shaw, therapist and slight loose cannon. Stick around for real talk, real growth, and some probable bad language. Let's dive in, shall we? Hi, love. Welcome to another episode. Now, nothing is going to date a podcast quicker than talking about AI, which develops at an absolutely terrifying rate of knots. And don't worry, I know I was talking about AI last week. I'm not going to talk about it much this week. But do you remember, 5 minutes ago, when AI was creating these kind of uncanny, weird, sort of haunted videos where they were trying to, for example, recreate a man eating a burger or, friends hugging or something simple like that. And on the one hand, absolutely incredible. And the fact that a computer can create something like that all by itself that's so complex, absolutely jaw-dropping. But then you watch it trying to recreate that seemingly simple act and it looks just completely wrong. And it makes the AI look laughably dumb. Well, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but your brain, it's basically the same. Sorry. The AI is exceptionally smart, just like you, but it doesn't have all the information. So it sort of fills in the rest as best it can. So it knows that the burger kind of goes in the mouth area and then it sort of disappears. But the nuance, the subtlety of eating is lost on it. So it creates this kind of 15-fingered kind of mess of burger mashing somewhere in the face and says, right, that's good enough. Well, the same is true for your brain, sort of, in that it gathers all the information that it knows about a situation, and what it doesn't know, it just kind of fills in. And it does that by making assumptions and predictions based on a lot of things. For example, what's happened before and what you felt about it. And that's the other thing, because your brain, unlike AI, is fueled by emotion, which, as you know, is not an ideal ingredient for logical thinking. So let's put this all together. You've got a bit of visual information, so everything that you can see, what you're observing. You've got a bit of cloudy memory, because we know for a fact that memories are not reliable. And we know this because if you get 3 witnesses to the same incident, they will all give you a different version of events. So memory is not fact, it's not reliable. You've got a lot of emotion, which we know clouds the memory, changes the way that we observe things and experience things. Then you've got several assumptions that you're making to fill in the gaps about the things you don't know for a fact. And then you've probably got some sort of mystical prediction about the future. So we tend to project forward and try and predict what will happen and what might be said and what's going on. Now, does any of that sound reliable? No, not really. Your natural intelligence, let's call that NI, it's not very much more accurate than artificial intelligence, but you're reacting to it as if it was the truth. So here is an important piece of learning. Your truth, it's not the truth. It's just a picture that you've built up based on all those different ingredients. In other words, it's a story. It's a story that you've told yourself. It's a version of the truth, and it's a version that your amazing, brilliant, sophisticated brain has put together the best way that it can so that it makes sense to you. Because that's what the brain likes. It likes things that it can make sense of. It likes repeated patterns. It likes predictability. Now, I'm going to add in another critical ingredient that AI doesn't have, but you do, and that is ego. Now, ego doesn't just mean arrogance or big-headedness. Ego is our sense of identity. It's who we are, or at least who we think we are. Now, your brilliant brain works in tandem with your brilliant ego. And together they have one job, and that is to keep you as safe and contented as possible. And it will do this by making you avoid pain at all costs. So, for example, if you're in the wrong, which we all will be at some point in our lives, the chances are that your ego will tell your brain to rewrite that part of the picture so that you can avoid the pain of being wrong. Do you see how clever that is? I mean, it's kind of amazing. We have to sort of be in awe of it, even if it's less than helpful at times. So, how do we go beyond this? How do we bypass the brain and the ego and stop writing stories that keep us stuck? Well, let me give you some guidance. Quick pause. If you're enjoying this and you haven't already, hit subscribe or follow right now. That way you won't miss the next dose of real talk. Go on, do it now. Future you will thank you. Okay, so you've got AI, completely unreliable, and you've got NI, natural intelligence, somewhat reliable, but not totally. But if you have developed emotional intelligence, let's call that EI, and gone beyond your basic programming, then you can access a part of the mind that says, listen, it's okay. I can handle this pain. I'm a big girl. I've got this. I'm wrong. I'll fess up. I'll apologize. I'll make amends. The world will not end. It's okay. And also, brain, this is the mature way to alleviate this pain in the long term. So, developing this emotional intelligence, talking to ourselves from that more adult perspective, not only does it allow you to think more long term, in other words, it might be uncomfortable now, but it's going to be better later. But it also allows you to question that basic programming that probably just went in when you were under 6 years old. It allows you to have a healthy skepticism about what you think and believe, to hold your beliefs lightly, which is an important adult skill, and to explore things from another point of view, somebody else's, for example. Emotional intelligence allows you not to mistrust your thoughts and beliefs, and that's an important distinction, but to have enough distance, enough perspective about them that you recognize they're not the absolute truth. They are just something that your brain has created to keep you safe and happy, and it might not be totally reliable. And this is what we call flexible thinking, and it allows you to have healthier relationships. It certainly allows you to treat yourself with much more compassion and to be more compassionate to others. So instead of treating everything that you think and feel as the absolute truth, you can start to introduce just that healthy little bit of skepticism. It will give you a moment, a pause to drop your assumptions and see if there's another way to think about things. Now, I don't say any of this to make you mistrust your own thoughts and feelings or to doubt or curse everything that you think. Revisit the episode called Stop Judging and Start Changing, because as soon as we start judging the things that we say or other people or ourselves, that's just as harmful. So, for example, just recently, I was hiding a key around the house, and obviously I'm not going to tell you where I was hiding it. But I was hiding a key near my house for my cleaner. And I suddenly thought to myself, oh God, what if a neighbor watches me doing this? And I was thinking uncharitable thoughts for a split second. And now, for the record, my neighbors are all completely lovely, law-abiding people. I'm extremely lucky. And because of that, I then said to myself, I hate my brain. But then I remembered I don't hate my brain at all. My brain is amazing. It's so clever. And it's really touching, in fact, the way that my brain tries to protect me all the time. And it's a pain in the arse, too. It's tiresome. But because I've dedicated so much time to complete and total self-acceptance, I know that every single part of my mind is just doing its best with the information that it has to make me happy and keep me safe. It may be sort of incompetent at times, but it is all incredibly well-intentioned and loving. So all of those uncharitable thoughts that I had about my neighbours are just trying to make sure I don't get robbed, which would make me unhappy. So every time I judge someone else or I come up with some ludicrous worst-case scenario excuse for doing something or not doing something, it's just my brain, my protective brain going, whoa, hang on a minute, excuse me, this looks very risky, stop right now, shut it down. And that's okay. Every mean, every cowardly, every prejudiced little part of me and of you is just doing the best with the information that it has. And remember that all those little parts of your brain were formed at an earlier time in your life when you didn't have the life wisdom and the experience that you do now. Probably before you turned 6, right? So are you going to trust a 6-year-old to run your life? Probably not. And even though the rest of you has matured and you now do have all of that wonderful life wisdom and experience, those little parts of yourself have remained at the age that they were formed. And there are hundreds of them, maybe even thousands, and they can be incredibly helpful. So they can boot you off the sofa if you've become a couch potato, or conversely, they can sit you down if you're overdoing it and tell you to stop. But yeah, some of them, bless their hearts, some of them are really bloody unhelpful. They're well-meaning, they're well-intentioned, yes, but they're unhelpful. So they might tell you to avoid doing anything that feels uncomfortable, like first dates or dream job interviews or publicizing your new book or song or painting or business offering. They might even tell you not to bother making the thing in the first place because that's too vulnerable, that's too risky. But listen, this is the important bit. Don't mistrust your brain. Don't mistrust your thoughts or go to war with your thoughts. They're just thoughts. They're not you. They're aspects of you, yes, but they don't define you. How you respond to those thoughts, that's what makes you who you are in the world. And you're a human. You're not an AI. You're not a bot. You are just a person bimbling along, doing the best that you can. And you are meant to have all of these thoughts, the pretty ones and the not so pretty ones. You're designed that way. And it's important that you do. It's important that you sift and sort through these thoughts and decide which ones are helpful and to be cherished and nurtured and acted on, and which ones are a bunch of shit and can be let go of. And that's how your brain develops and grows and matures. So never be afraid of your thoughts. Never judge any part of yourself for feeling or thinking anything that you don't necessarily believe with your whole heart. Never condemn yourself for having those thoughts. They're just little parts of your ego that are completely necessary for your survival. They're animal in nature. So instead, why not let that older, wiser part of your brain, which, by the way, usually speaks with a quieter voice, so you have to get still and listen, and notice that it always speaks to you lovingly. And why not let that adult, loving part of your brain take those younger parts in hand and speak soothingly to them, if needed. Just let them know you're in charge, they're safe, everything's going to be okay, and you've got this. And you, and you, and you, and me. We've all got this. All right, my darling. I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Ta-ra! Thanks for listening to Rowdy and Real with me, Sophie Shaw. If you'd like to stay in touch, then please visit norwichtherapy.co.uk and join the mailing list to receive a gorgeous free meditation straight into your inbox. And if you'd like to chat with me about your stuff, then please book yourself a free 30-minute call at sophieshaw.as.me/free call, and we'll start making a plan for your happiness. This podcast is intended for educational and vaguely entertaining purposes and is not a replacement for counselling, psychotherapy or coaching. Please take responsibility for your mental health and ask for the help you need. You're fabulous and you deserve to be happy. Bye.